Hi, everybody. Carrie Colehouse here, Executive Director of MomsBloom. And today I am so excited to be interviewing our program director, Kimber Wager. Kimber, say hi.
Hi, everybody.
The reason that I wanted to interview Kimber and share it with our MomsBloom audience is because Kimber is the heartbeat of MomsBloom. She has put in so much work and so much ingenuity, so much innovation, so much blood, sweat, and tears into MomsBloom. And because she tends to work behind the scenes, a lot of people don't know who she is or how much she does for MomsBloom and how instrumental she's been in the growth of our organization. So I really wanted to highlight Kimber and make sure that everyone has a chance to get to know her and also hear her voice, because she has so many great insights to share from the position that she sits. So Kimber, that was quite an introduction.
Yeah, maybe a little bit more credit than I deserve, but I appreciate it.
Always too humble. Always too humble. So Kimber, first I want to back up. We always talk about this magical day when you and I met for lunch. And
I'll always remember it,
Yeah. It's like the story that parents tell their children about how they met, right? Like this is the story that we tell of how MomsBloom kind of entered into a new stage.
Mm-hmm.
But tell me about the reason that lunch came about was because you sent a message on Facebook to the MomsBloom Facebook. So tell me what inspired you to send that message.
Yeah, so I had I'm a clinical social worker, so I had been doing home visits for just over 4 years and loved the relationship building side of that. And as that was my very first job. So getting to career job. So being able to get to know myself better and my skill set of just realizing that I kind of wanted to try something different, but I was scared to commit to a job change. So I worked my home visits was with kids 0 to 3, so infants and toddlers. So yeah, I figured I heard of MomsBloom through the grapevine of early childhood services and how amazing and supportive it is for the community. So I chose to reach out because I wanted to give it a try to view an organization from the big picture. And I knew that MomsBloom was very volunteer driven and engaged their volunteers in a variety of capacities. So I reached out just to give it a try and hope that somebody emailed me back and that they would take a chance on me to use my skills of, again, just bringing the community together, that big picture, and improving an organization and just keep moving it forward.
And it was such a different experience to be on the receiving end of that message, because I read that message and I'm going to start to tear up a little bit about it. I read that message and I was or after we had the lunch, I was well, here she is. Here's this person that I've been wanting. And also now we have a celebrity visitor on our call who has wandered in. It wouldn't be a call in the COVID-19 crisis without a child randomly appearing. But yeah, you were exactly what MomsBloom needed at that moment in time. Someone with your skill set, with your background in home visiting, with your passion and drive. That was exactly what we needed. And so it was instantly I knew that this was going to be a really powerful partnership. Mm-hmm. So tell me a little bit, backing up to your career in home visiting previously, what kinds of things you observed that made you realize that MomsBloom was so needed and was something that you really wanted to get involved with?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I feel throughout my education as a social worker and just each job and career change and things that I've had, I've just been realizing more and more the importance of earlier and earlier connection and intervention has been a big part. So I started with school age kids and then started doing home visits with 0 to 3. and doing those home visits of wanting to do more when I was with a family and wanting to be able to like, oh my goodness, can I just hold your baby and you go take a nap? But I couldn't do that. That wasn't my role. And so I feel like I just saw that different set of needs and saw a lot of women that didn't have local support, and just being able to build that relationship with them, both personally and professionally. But it was hard for me to not do those other things that I knew MomsBloom could do. But I saw a lot of families that didn't have local support and were struggling with symptoms of perinatal mood disorders and didn't have the help. So that really connected me. And again, just kind of that belief that I continue to grow, that the earlier we can support a family or a baby, the better their outcomes are and the better that they're gonna thrive in our community as well.
Great. When you first started getting your hands into the organization, and at that time, just for a little history lesson for our audience, at that time, MomsBloom was 100% volunteer administered. I was board chair, and Kimber came on as a volunteer, and we had this amazing team of volunteers who stepped up to the plate and said, we're not going to let this organization go away. We're not going to let the services go on pause. We're going to stay operational, and we're all just going to put in, 10 to 15 hours a week of administrative work, which was so remarkable that we were able to make that work and that our organization was actually able to grow. So then you came on as one of these volunteers. What were you most surprised by or struck by once you started really getting in and doing the work?
Honestly, how many people were there and passionate and ready to do whatever. It kind of blew my mind of, I found my people, knowing that, that like I'm ready to just hit the ground running and we'll take whatever people can give me, and whether I've done it before or not. And so it was really cool to see other people, and we all just had the same vision of like, okay, we're going to keep this alive. We're going to move it forward. Let's just see what we can do. I think that was the biggest surprise. It was that relief of like, oh my goodness, there are really great people in the community that have this same passion. So that was probably like my biggest like initial kind of surprise and reaction of that. And then also how much you all trusted me as this, new person in your organization, of just like, yep, go for it. Like, try it out. I'm like, okay, yeah, I will. Was just a really cool kind of personal surprise for me too.
Yeah, I know we've talked a lot together about how so many things kind of fell together the way that they needed to for the organization to thrive, but also they fell together in a way that they needed to, I think, in ways that you and I both wanted to grow as professionals and as people, and being in this scenario where it's like, hey, we don't have anything to lose. Let's just do our best and like see if we can make this work. And I think that gave us both a freedom to try things. And it was like, you know what, if we give it our best shot and we're genuine and what can go wrong?
Yeah.
And that doesn't always lead to success. But I'm really glad that in this case it did. So how do you feel like since you first became involved with MomsBloom as a volunteer and then as a board member and a board chair and now as program director, which is a lot that's happened.
What a fast 2 years.
Yeah, I know. In that time, how has being involved changed you and allowed you to grow?
Oh my God, that's the biggest question. I don't even know how to succinctly answer that. I mean, I've really built a lot of professional confidence. I am young, and so it's hard to it's hard for me to find my place kind of in the social work world, which is huge, and really figure out what my skill set is and to run with it. Man, yeah. So I would just say, just continuing to learn kind of the great combo of professional and personal skills, right? So like, because we're, it's you and I and, like as like formal staff, and then so many volunteers of, I get to do this really weird, great thing of like dabbling in marketing and dabbling in like fundraising and things. So just building those professional skills is amazing, but just on a personal level of just how many amazing people I get to meet, and just continuing to broaden my view of the world. And it's not just our passionate volunteers, but every family and client that I get to interact with, not usually in person, but of just how successful and amazing people are and can be, and just needing each other, are hearing from our volunteers how much they need their families in this experience. It seems just as valuable as the families that need their support. So yeah, just continuing to learn and grow on a personal level too, of learning from everybody's experiences.
I do think it's remarkable. We hear that from volunteers all the time, that they say they get more out of this experience than the mothers even do. And that's just impressed upon me, like how many other ways we could implement this kind of model in society of just connecting people together, because we're all starved for connection. We're all starved for fulfillment and meaning. And the helper needs it as much as the recipient. And in these times that we're in right now, people are even more starved for connection. So I know that we are at MomsBloom, we're working really hard on filling that gap. So tell me a little bit about what we launched this week.
Oh, goodness. Okay. So we are trying a virtual peer support group. So, we've heard it from families before before this pandemic, of wanting to get connected with other parents. And we've kind of dabbled back and forth of like, okay, do we do it or do we not? And kind of had that hesitation back and forth because it is something newer for us. So yeah, we're gonna give it a shot. It's gonna start next week, where we're connecting about 5 to 6 families within one group, and it's really member-led. So we do have volunteer facilitators just to kind of keep the group going and connected and building those relationships. But really, the goal is to just bring those families together, and getting the the requests in from families was so reassuring and heartwarming, of like, okay, we're doing the right thing.
Yeah, you started getting, or right after you sent out the email, the groups were like already filling up.
Oh my goodness. Oh, it was crazy. It was crazy. And then to just like some families, like I had 2 or 3 families that reached out to me separate. It's like, I am so glad you're doing this. Like, I really need this right now. Like, oh, okay. So it was really reassuring, and I'm so excited to try it out. And I'm really hopeful that that's something we can do in the future, which is really exciting. Whether it's virtual, we actually get to connect people in person. And that's just another way that we get to bring our community together in a really special way that can, take a family beyond this immediate postpartum and just be that sustainable support for each other and connection.
Yeah, I've been thinking a lot about that. We got some great feedback from a mom a little while back, and she said something that like was insanely validating to me, that we are fulfilling our mission. She said, obviously the help of the MomsBloom volunteer, that extra pair of hands, that listening ear for those 3 months was fantastic. But the greatest gift that MomsBloom gave me was that it changed my perspective about motherhood. In that I saw that when this volunteer came over, after she left, I was more patient with my child. And it made me realize that I really need other people, and I really need to engage all the support that I can. And this isn't all it doesn't have to all be on my shoulders. And I'll really be giving my child the best shot possible if I build up my support network, and I don't try to just do it all on my own. And to me, like, the existence of MomsBloom is about more than just providing quality postpartum services. It's about shifting our mindset.
Yeah.
About how we approach parenthood. So talk to me a little bit about how being involved with MomsBloom and being in touch with these parents on a day-to-day basis. I see you have a celebrity guest.
Cabby. Celebrity appearance.
Talk to me about how your perspective on parenthood has shifted as a result of the work that you've done.
That's a great question. So I'm not a parent yet. So it is an interesting, I think it's always been a fear of mine. So me and my spouse, our families live 3.5 hours away. So we know that when we bring a baby into the world, that we will not have somebody here. And for me, honestly, it's giving me a lot more reassurance and confidence that like, okay, we can do it. There are people that will help us. Like, we know that we can do this. And then again, I've gotten just more connected and aware with kind of what the experience is like. And for me, the more information I know, the calmer I am. So that's really helped that. And, you know, I hope, and, you know, it's hard to know, but I hope that it'll just let me give myself grace of, you know, those times that are overwhelming and stressful and I can't do it all, to let some of those things go. And really, like the other mom was saying, of just like welcoming help. It can be really hard. There's a lot of emphasis to do things on your own and just like be successful and kind of moving things forward. So it's a good mind shift of, okay, we have a community, they're here, they want to help. So to open our minds to that help will be really cool. So we'll find out someday.
I love that with, especially, and here it's something I want to tell our audience, sign up when you're pregnant.
Yes. Oh my goodness.
I love it when people sign up when they're pregnant.
Yeah.
For many reasons. One being that we're there, they get so much more of the benefit of our service. We're there right from the beginning. And I feel like when they're able to enter motherhood with the mindset of, I'm going to have this support person come in, I'm getting comfortable being vulnerable and having a person come into my home at this very vulnerable time and asking them to help me, which is a courageous thing to do. If they can do that and get in the habit of doing that right out of the gate as a parent, that means the next 18 years that they spend raising that child, we hope that they'll have the confidence, continue to have the confidence to ask for the help that they need. I feel like whether you're a parent or not, that concept translates.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Does that resonate with you, like in your life experience and in the way that you've grown?
Yeah. I mean, anytime, just having a history of anxiety and depression, the more I'm connected and supported with other people, whether they've had that experience or not, whether it's a friend or family member that I can talk to about what I'm going through, or somebody that will distract me and doesn't know what's going on, being able to have people and support and connection, and somebody that will honestly, we even have like some friends that'll like come do the dishes or grocery shop for us when I just like need a break. So being able to have that in the non-parenting world has been huge. That's the only way I got through grad school when I was working full time and doing grad school and doing an internship and trying to be the best me. The only reason I was able to do it is because of my friends and family.
Mm-hmm. Right. And I think for all of us, being willing to take down the facade of having it all together is half the battle.
Yeah.
Because we really can't connect with one another and get the connection that we need when our facade is up, when our wall is up. And if we're willing to let that down a little bit and let people in and say, hey, I know this is going to be shocking to you, but I'm not perfect. And I have a lot of struggles of my own, and I really need your help. And we're able to get what we need from them. And, we deny ourselves that gift when we feel like we have to put on this perfect picture for everyone. So I hope that people see that in MomsBloom, and whether they're parents or not, that they can still draw from that concept and use it to live a richer, fuller life.
So, what a great expanded mission, like
yeah. I don't want
the world to be a better place.
Yeah, I don't want to try to do too much, right? But yeah, I do want the world to be a better place. So, Kimber, what is your vision of the future for MomsBloom?
I mean, we're taking over the world. Like, I'm not really too hesitant about it anymore. Yeah, I just want it to continue to grow and thrive in West Michigan, and really long term, I think, this is very applicable in other communities. So of course, I want to continue to grow and be the best we can in our area first. But I think there's so much room to expand and go in different areas and different communities as well. Every community is so different and has different needs, but babies are being born everywhere, and parents, no matter where they live, need support and may or may not have family or friends available to step in when they have a baby. So I think there's a lot of really great potential, and there are helpers everywhere that are ready to step in.
Yeah, we get contacted a lot by people in other communities, or I even get contacted from friends and family members living in other parts of the country or the world saying, oh, I know a person who's having a baby and it's her 5th baby and her husband passed away and I have no idea how she's going to do it. Is there a MomsBloom? Do you know if there's a MomsBloom in my state? And I'm like, no, but give me some time. Some time. And I know you feel the same way. Of course, my response also is we've got to focus on doing the best possible job that we can do in West Michigan first, and build this into such a strong organization, such an effective and efficient organization that we can easily replicate it in other parts of the world.
Okay.
So I want to thank you. I'm going to cry again, but like, oh, I'm a crier, so there's no shame in my game. I want to thank you, like, from the bottom of my heart for your friendship and
God, you're awful. I'm not a crier.
your partnership in this organization, and we would not be where we are right now without you. And I think it is your continued vision and hard work and skill set and intellect that is going to help us to expand and make the vision that you just described a reality. So thank you so much. And thank you to everyone for watching and getting
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.